Oh, I know. I just hit the go live button.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, we're back. Happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages powered by the Broken Podcast.
Sorry, that was my bad.
Rich, how's it going, bud?
It's going. It's been a long time. Shouldn't
I
have left you without a strong podcast to step to.
Oh, you're
Indeed.
potent, didn't know it. Drew, how's it going, bud?
Oh, Jesus.
I have no words. I'm glad to be back. Okay, I'm good. You can move on now.
Awesome. Jeremy, how's it going, bud?
Hey, how's it going, Leah?
Going well. Just to we took a couple weeks off. I had a passing in the family, so plus I got COVID at the same time, which was like a what the fuck moment. But all is better, and I am back, and we are gonna talk comics tonight and have some fun. How about that?
Actually, excuse me. Before we do that, I have some questions for you, sir.
Yes.
While you were stricken, both
Yes.
with sadness and sickness, did you by chance do any reading of any kind, any sort of productive use of the time that you were bedridden and thinking about, mortality and life and 2022? Or did you just keep watching the same damn Star Wars clips over and over again?
Actually, I played a bunch of Horizon Forbidden West. I couldn't do too much reading because unluckily my version of COVID was the headache kind, which was odd when my wife caught it, then I caught it, and she was she had a lot of coughing and very, very tired. I felt like a hot poker up my nose and constant splitting headaches. Like this side of my head, it was like a constant headache, like almost 24/7. It was insane. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't fun without you. It was just absolute pandemonium. There were memes. There was so much nerd talk. I had to mute the thing for over 24 hours. You can't imagine the craziness there. It was like a Comic-Con unleashed. It was like Girls Gone Wild, but with nerds. It was horrible, man.
You know, I step away from the social media and everybody goes crazy. You know?
Exactly. We don't have you're the anchor. You're the grounding rod. You know?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but Jeremy was trying to lobby to take your place and run the whole Dorkening network, upon your passing.
Well,
the only problem is I have no idea how to work a computer at all.
That was his downfall. He had all the credentials, but when we asked about it, he was like, "Nah."
Button?
Nah.
What button do I push?
Yeah, exactly.
This one?
So we had to relent and just prayed that Leo got better, and thank goodness he did, because no one pushed buttons like Leo pushed buttons.
Oh no, nobody fucks up like I do.
I am a monkey, but
we don't have the budget.
He has access to time technology.
Yeah, and Leo, we don't have the budget to travel to different universes and find other versions of you. So I mean, I know the multiverse is very popular now. Everybody's doing it. It's the new hip thing. Oh, hey, let's go to the multiverse. But we just don't have that in our budget, because I'm still not even sure we have a budget. I just am told normally when I ask for things, it's either yes or maybe. Well, so
if I can sneak it by my wife, we're good.
They start horror movies off like that. They also start porn off like that. But let's not get into those movies, because we're here to talk about comics. So before we do, does anyone first say, actually, congratulations here. Someone in this room has finally seen Spider-Man No Way Home. So congratulations. Thank you. Joining the rat race.
And the crowd goes wild.
So Chuckles, what'd you think?
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised. It was, of course, ruined for me that there were going to be 3 Spider-Mans. Of course, that was rumored all before. And poo-pooed. So I thought they did it very well. And I had no idea the amount of characters they were going to bring in. Like Electro, which was very cool when he classic comic book persona. And I did not know about the Sandman. I did know about Doc Ock, and of course I knew about the Green Goblin.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I thought they did it really well. There were a ton of characters to throw in, adding Doctor Strange and highly including MJ and Ned Leeds, right? So to put all those characters into a good story that was entertaining, that had action, heart. My one complaint, maybe, I really didn't think that Aunt May had to die.
That gave me such tear jerkers.
Yeah.
I'm an emotional.
I got emotional at that, but I'm gonna counter. Is one, a frequent criticism of the MCU Spider-Man has been that he didn't have Uncle Ben, and as we know, the death is the antithesis. So essentially, they've made it that Aunt May is the Uncle Ben of his world, because we've also got to grow with her. I mean, since we saw her in Civil War
and 2016
to now. And there's also not really much. I mean, if you can see, there really wasn't a lot that Marissa Tomei was doing. So, but I'm sorry, as much as I did get emotional when she did pass, it was the Andrew Garfield catching MJ moment that
super redemption arc right there.
Oh my God, that, especially because I found out it was improvised, her asking him if he was okay, and I was like, God, that was so good.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I have to admit this. First thing, seeing Tobey Maguire back that to me was amazing because that was my Spider-Man when I was in high school. I mean,
Sure.
hands down. Um,
And it was really funny them joking about that he is the only one that has organic webs,
mhm.
Yeah.
which I thought was really cute that they addressed that.
Yeah, and it's well, like I said, for me, I appreciated Garfield. I just thought his movies were a bit of a mess. He wasn't my favorite. Like I have friends who they're his favorite, and I'm just like, that's cool. He wasn't mine, but I mean, I still appreciated what he brought to the table. His passion was clearly there. And I very much have enjoyed Tom Holland's because he's essentially Ultimate Spider-Man, which is one of my top 3 best Spider-Man of all time. Um, and just seeing all 3 of them together, it was kind of like when you run into 3 people who love the same thing as you do at a con, and instead of doing I'm the better Spider-Man, you're all just like
Oh
hugs.
my God.
Oh yeah.
Let's just
Well, they
Yeah.
were, they even said it in the movie, like they were like brothers, and like how they all came together at the end, especially like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, when they all flip and Tom catches the webs and brings them along, and just uh personally I love Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, his movies, I love all of them, but just like, I just thought he was a better like Peter Parker. Like Tom Holland's definitely the ultimate Spider-Man, but I think Andrew was better than Toby. But Toby is everybody's Spider-Man. I get that.
because he's the golden age Spider-Man. That's basically what he is. I'm caught forever in age 27. I somehow, will always beat the bad guy despite the personal cost. Then you had Andrew, which is the more modern one, which is, God, I'm angsty. I am angsty and emotional and fuck. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm overwhelmed, but I'm going to be the good guy. And I got the hot girl. So boom. And then Tom Holland is, I have no idea why I'm in the Avengers. I am in high school, my dude. I've got a test tomorrow and my arm is clearly broken, yet here I am. And
I think this movie clearly showed that the 3 of them all played it differently, but that really helped with this movie.
oh yeah, 100%. And I think we can all agree that my God, Willem Dafoe, there's nobody else that could have been the Green Goblin.
Yeah, he was great, but you cannot take anything away from Alfred Molina's interaction with Tom Holland. I really thought that was intense. From the anger, and then to after his chip was modified, the change. They had this like chemistry. It was like an angst, but I don't know.
Listen, those I've always said the Raimi films minus. I mean, listen. With all due respect to Thomas Hayden Church, Sandman is really kind of a blah villain because he's not really a villain. He's really kind of just an anti-hero. He flip-flops between being a hero and a villain. Like in this movie, he was just like, all right, well, you're gonna try to pull me back, so I'm gonna fight it. Like he didn't have that drive that you saw with Ock or Electro or the Green Goblin. He was just kind of there. He's just like, okay.
Kind of felt that about the Lizard too.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was nice seeing the original actor at the end with the change back, but other than that, it felt like a throwaway.
I will say this though, I loved that Electro name drop Miles. That was a clever nod to Miles Morales, inquiring that there's got to be an African American Spider-Man. I'm like, yo,
did he name drop Miles?
He didn't name drop, but he basically referenced it.
Oh yeah. When he said there has to be a black Spider-Man somewhere.
Yeah, that to me was like that's clearly that's the second Miles nod in the MCU.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping. But
Jeremy, any high points for you?
I enjoyed the whole movie. It was a good surprise. Been a big fan of Spider-Man movies since the beginning. Tobey Maguire, definitely my favorite of the movies. But I would say Andrew Garfield is the most Spider-Man to me. Like he is like when I read a Spider-Man comic, that's the Spider-Man I see is Andrew Garfield. But Tobey Maguire, like people hating on the singing and stuff, I'm just like, what? that was great. I don't know. Like I was glad to not be caught up in the internet back then because I enjoyed a lot of movies that a lot of people hated.
Well, it's funny because I feel like, and before, a lot of people very often criticize Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, which I blame more on the writers and Mark Webb, because with all due respect, we're putting the faith of the Spider-Man franchise on the guy who directed 500 Days of Summer. I'm like, really?
I think Andrew Garfield's downfall was his villains. Oof.
Well, yeah, and then
they just weren't portrayed how they should have been.
No, and then on top of it, but the second No Way Home came out, everybody was like, "Oh my God, Andrew Garfield's so great," and I was just like, I see you guys trying to play it off like you always thought he was so good, so cool. Like, I stick to what I said, but I do acknowledge that the film did redeem him. It's the same thing with any of Tobey's flaws. They're all on the same page. And honestly, that to me was great.
I'll have to say this movie brought me around to this Spider-Man, because up until this movie, I haven't been a big fan of these newer movies of Spider-Man. He's a interesting character. Like, I like him in the Marvel universe, but the Spider-Man movies have been like, they're take them, leave them, not too memorable. I don't even think I watched the one with Mysterio.
Wow.
And that's really sad for me, because like Mysterio is like my favorite Spider-Man character.
You should give it a shot, man. They did a really good job with Mysterio.
Did they?
Yeah.
I didn't love that one, Jeremy. So
I'm sorry.
I want my Mysterio like the original comic book. Like,
no, you're not going to get that.
Yeah, I know I'm not.
I thought there was a lot of comic book references in with Mysterio.
I want him
like the Globe and
like.
Hey,
I
listen,
want everything to be movie magic and.
Hey, listen, Leo. They made that dome head look menacing and not stupid as hell.
Well, I mean, like the snow globe, like scene.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, honestly, and I've seen Mysterios at conventions, and I gotta give him credit, because you see that costume in real life, you're like, wow, you are a 60s costume. Like, that is some cheese, my dude. Because it's the plaid.
Oh,
you're just like the dome, and you got the green plaid, and you're just like, yeah, Ditko really stretched himself thin on this one.
Well, speaking of Mysterio, if I remember correctly, he made a cameo in the movie. So the characters in the sky. There was from what I think there was Mysterio, Craven.
I definitely noticed Rhino.
Rhino, yeah. Scorpion.
Not mechanical Rhino.
Yeah, what a waste. But so my point being is, Rich, I'm glad you liked it. Definitely, it was a good way to end last year, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it was nice seeing. It was also nice seeing little Cumberbatch action.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It was my first return to the theater since COVID. So like, my only return to the theater since COVID.
And it was super interesting that Wong is currently the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah.
and told with such shade. Yes, I'm gone for 5 years. He's the Sorcerer Supreme. I was just like, God damn, man. But well, before we get to the comic, which I'm very excited about, as is one of my favorites, I will admit I was so excited that Leo was back, and that we didn't have to put his brain in a robot shell like we were planning. And I'll do the
like Krang, TMNT.
Yeah, exactly. I was just like, I was imagining that. But Leo, you wouldn't be in your stomach. You would probably be like, I don't know, maybe middle.
Yeah, nipples.
But you would still have to do the Krang voice. So just
he'd be Mara. He'd be Mara.
We just need to see you to do the Krang voice. That bebop, rock steady, bring me those turtles. I did not look up anything nerd news related, so I'm sure things are happening.
Yeah. I have a couple items.
Go for it, Leo.
Well, first off, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I did see the Batman.
Oh,
I haven't seen it yet. I will
Not
say
yet.
that. So I am behind.
Yeah,
Well,
wait until I think it's like May.
April 19th.
Is
or
it
something?
April? Okay, yeah,
I think.
April for.
yeah, next month. It's like
Mhm.
3 or 4 weeks, something.
Yeah, it's like 40 days.
Be on the max.
Okay.
I just have to say, holy fucking shit, is that movie awesome?
Yeah, I've heard really good stuff about it.
It-
And
it-
you can spoil away on my side. I don't
Please
mind
don't.
spoilers at all.
well, there's certain scenes that I definitely don't want to spoil for people.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's you know, but I have to say the acting is superb. The suit is very reminiscent of my brain is Batman Damned. Who's the artist?
Wait. You said
Oh,
Batman Damned? Lee Bermejo?
Yeah. This is, like everything. It's all realistic. Like the
Okay.
whole
so
everything.
you got to see Batman's penis on screen.
Well, actually,
Nah.
there is a picture of Patterson. And he's packing. You know.
Oh, damn.
Well, I mean, listen.
Are we talking labyrinth packing or?
It's definitely, Jeremy. From what he's telling me, there's definitely not shark repellent down there. If you know what I mean. Okay, so.
But yeah, 3 hours long, and it's a true Batman story.
Like,
It's
all right, 3 hours. Do you get the big thing of the big drink, or are you
The big
no
gulp.
drinks and no food at all during the movie?
I got popcorn and I got a big water, and I saved the water till about 3/4 of the way through.
You know,
And-
it's funny. Somebody actually, I think I recall people talking that somebody watched the movie and they did a review where there are moments that if you need to pee, you can go and it won't. And I was like, boy, that's conscientious, everyone.
Well,
Yeah, no
That's what
pee
I
break,
look for.
Leo.
no,
No pee
Look
break.
at you, 3
Yeah,
hours. That's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it.
That'd
I
be
know
a
me.
no coffee day if I could.
couldn't do it.
Hold that.
Well,
up.
I only drank half a coffee that morning, and yeah,
See,
but
you pre-gamed.
yeah, I did. I wanted to go into this right because I didn't want to miss anything. Paul Dano, is that his name?
Yeah, you're talking about the Riddler, right?
Riddler. Holy shit! Can he? Oh my god!
Good
It's
stuff.
his acting is. Everybody's acting was.
I have to ask, how was Colin Farrell as Oswald? Did he do a good job?
Holy shit! Is he good?
Spoiler alert.
Well, no, because when they made a big deal about it, because when you saw him as Oswald, like that's not Colin Farrell, and the makeup is just phenomenal, and you're like, oh my god.
Well, the makeup, the voice, and how.
I thought it was funny they wouldn't let him smoke.
Really?
Yeah, I thought that was an odd. Well, you know, the thing is, they've been the last 20 or so years, they've really been doing their best to move comic characters away from smoking.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
that
Makes sense. I
also,
mean,
there's really
they are
not
supposed to be for kids.
for what happens in the movie. There's really no chance for him to smoke.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's the type of movie where there's not a ton of action, but there's like a lot of action.
There's also a lot of fire, so fire and smoke. So you know,
Yeah, and also rain. You know,
You should have been walking around coughing, just.
I'm gonna say this is gonna come down as the epitome of a Batman movie. This is like when you talk about Batman, this is what you need to watch. You know, it's just has great story. The action is where it needs to be. He's actually a detective in this.
well, you know, and that's the funny thing, and it's amusing to me that we nerds are very secular. You know, we move in cycles, circles. I swear every time there's a new Batman, Spider-Man, whatever, you always have the who do you think is best? And I think we need to kind of retire that thinking, because in some way they're all good. They all bring something to the table, even ones that, like Jeremy said, are heavily criticized. There's still something good in them. It's like Rich and Leo, the last time we had this, I had that that theory that in every bad comic book movie, there's one or two moments that are actually good.
Sure.
You just don't see it because there's just so much crap.
Yeah.
You just, that's the same thing with all Batman. Even Batman that are criticized, like Batman and Robin, Batman Forever. Yes, are they the best? No. But they do have some really great moments within them. And to be quite honest, Batman and Robin is my favorite
Robin
drinking game of all time.
The
You know.
Robin gets to use the holy rusted metal Batman. That was so great.
Oh,
The island, it's made of metal and it's rusting. No.
I will also say this: if you guys ever do the Batman and Robin drinking game, if you make it the rule every time Freeze does an ice pun, you're
Oh
dead.
God.
You're dead. It's
so I'm just gonna say one spoiler.
okay.
Riddler, he wears Jim Carrey's glasses.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
cool. Nice throwback.
I thought you were gonna be like the Riddler is Edward Nygma. I'm like, whoa! Spoilers.
Oh my God! Spoiler alert.
Well,
He makes a riddle.
Oh.
And he
my.
solves that riddle. Whoa!
It's a river.
And Catwoman definitely flirts with Batman. Holy
Wait
shit.
a minute. This is a detective story, and there's a riddle. Wow. I don't even need to see the movie anymore. It's ruined for me. Thanks, Leo. Thanks a lot.
Is
Leo,
there a bat signal?
What a dick. Thanks, Leo.
Leo, you're all three trailers of Batman vs Superman right now. I just feel like I don't need to see it now. You just spoiled all. You know.
Is there a bat signal?
There is a bat signal.
Oh, motherfuckers!
So
like I'm trying to figure out timeline wise where this Batman's supposed to be at, and I thought he was like year one-ish, but like there's already a signal. So
no, it's definitely a year two Batman. They make
year two. Okay.
They make that very evident because he keeps a journal.
All right, cool.
It's very early Batman.
Well, it's also very long Halloween because
I'm gonna say there's, from what I understand, it's long Halloween. There's some Batman Earth 1 in there, especially Rich and Leo Volume 2 that we reviewed. I feel like probably Leo, you were like, wow, you saw the parallels. You know, I mean, I listen. My general rule of thumb, and thanks to Leo's Plex, I could actually put this in action. Is you got to make up your own mind. Just see the movie, make up your own mind about it, and that's that. Like Leo, you yourself was like you thought Venom 2 was garbage. I've never seen it. I'm gonna see it, and then I can be like, it's true, or it was fine.
Those are another set of movies. I tried on Venom 1 and I walked away.
Venom 1 surprised me because I actually enjoyed it when I just didn't think it was Venom.
Wait, did I say Venom 2 was garbage? That might not.
One of you said that. I don't remember who.
It was highly mediocre, but I do have a question though. That there was a bonus scene where it had Venom seeing the multiverse and seeing Tom Holland Spider-Man. But yet that I was expecting to see either a bonus extra scene at the end of No Way Home or him having a cameo, and neither of those happened.
Yeah, they did.
They did? Did I miss it?
Yeah. Because you missed the he missed.
Was there a bonus scene? Is that what it was? Was it a bonus scene?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I fast forwarded. All right, I'm gonna have to go back.
You gotta look it up when we're done tonight. Look it up.
I'll just YouTube it.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube. It's good.
So I'll probably watch Venom 3, but I'll never watch 1 and 2.
Well, it's good, but also I don't want to spoil it, but it does make a connection between the universes. I'm not going to say what it is.
Although,
it's definitely there's going to be more story to it.
Right, and now that's supposed to be connected to the Morbius universe. And when is that dropping soon?
Morbius is actually next month. And it's coming out now where it might be its own universe.
Oh, okay.
I just read that today. They haven't released what universe it is, but there's a chance it might be in its own universe.
Oh, interesting. Because I remember in the trailer he mentions Venom.
So it's true. Well, time will tell. Leo, What other news did you say you had?
Well, just a couple items. We have release dates. You know, since we've been gone for 2 weeks, Miss Marvel is coming out June 8th,
That looks great.
along with The Boys season 3. Miss
That
Marvel.
looked great.
Did you guys watch Diabolical or
No, was it
the
good?
cartoons?
No, I
Oh,
have
they're
not
the
seen it.
cartoon shorts are fantastic. They
All
do
right,
them in
good.
different. Each cartoon's done in a different style.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I've
Definitely
I've
recommend.
heard good things because that trailer looked amazing, and
Yeah.
the season 3 trailer. I mean, I was like, yeah, yes, please,
Mhm.
let's go. Like, bring it. I'm so ready.
Uh, the
What
other
else?
thing is Moon Knight coming out next week.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan
Cannot
Kenobi.
wait.
I'm interested. I don't know much about Moon Knight beyond that he's what is it?
Psychotic.
Dissociative disorder. And yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
and
multiple personalities.
and,
Yeah.
and he's a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and he draws his power from the fist of Khonshu,
Now, does he
the
have
Egyptian
money?
god.
Because I've always heard he was like the Marvel's Batman.
Oh, yeah, okay, that I can actually answer that. It's a bit of a yes and a no.
Oh, okay.
One of his other personalities is a billionaire.
Motherfucker.
That would believe
I gotta
is the
get one of those.
Stephen Grant personalities. But like it
So
was in the beginning, he was really more of an homage to Batman, and then he really kind of became his own thing. Because at one point, Jeremy,
was Mark
they were
Spector the first one, or
yeah, Mark was the
okay?
first. Then there was Stephen Grant, and then the others. And the thing being is, what they were just identities that he slipped into, and then what happens is that they later changed it to they made it that they were personalities.
Okay.
So instead of just aliases, they were actually personalities vying for control in his head. So
Interesting.
yeah, it definitely evolved. And Leo and Rich, I actually put I think the first arc of the 1980s series in my list of things that we can talk about.
Oh,
I
nice.
think that might be actually really good for us to do next week because then we can, if Moon Knight is out, then the week after that we can compare like, oh, okay, we watched this, then we watched that. So, it might be something good. The Miss Marvel, I'm on the fence about. I got to be honest. I hope it's good. I do. I mean, I loved the series when it first came out. I thought Kamala was great. Over time, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like it always depends on who's writing. It's like anybody. If the writing's really good, it's great. If it's a little much, then it's like, okay, are you a hero or are you just, oh, I'm a fangirl. Now I'm a superhero. So I'm a superhero fangirl. I'm just like, okay, we got it. You're a nerd. Save the world.
Yeah, she's like an early Spider-Man, still figuring it out.
Pretty much.
Man, that moved me when she was like, "I'm a superhero." I was like, "Yeah, you are." I don't know, man. I got kids. I'm all like really excited for these newer kind of like younger, like getting the kids into the comic world stuff. Like I didn't was never a huge Marvel reader. Like I read Spider-Man and Hulk and
Mhm.
some X-Men stuff, but like Miss Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, all these people, like I'm like sitting there bright-eyed and like, oh my God, I had no idea this was going on in the Marvel world.
Love
DC's
the
always
world.
been my thing, always loved like dark and broody.
Well,
Give me more of it. But like the good fun Marvel movies, I dig them except for Ant-Man. Ant-Man sucked in my world. I
well,
hated the one-liners.
oh man, I love the
Every 10
one-liners.
seconds.
I love the
Like
too.
the moment you're feeling something in that movie, the emotional,
Well,
and I'm sitting there, I'm like, that motherfucker's about to say something stupid. And yep, he was right there for me. I was like,
I will say this, so I do agree because I do definitely want to talk about Superman for all seasons. Um,
mm,
but I do agree, and we've talked about this. I do feel that Marvel needs to acknowledge darker moments a little bit more, and I think we've seen that more and more. I mean, we're talking No Way Home. I mean, Peter was going to
that
kill
was great, dude.
Peter was going to kill the Goblin. Let's just
Yeah.
and whatnot. That was a beautifully dark moment. I just think that unfortunately, because Marvel is owned by Disney, and because Disney is attached to kids, and they're operating, bad things never happen to children, and I'm like, really? History will say otherwise.
Yeah.
Disney execs.
Disney has killed a mom and dad in every animation
For
since
real.
1960, whatever.
Yes, but we can't allow comic book characters to have emotionally sad moments. It's always, well, let's joke it away. And I'm just like, if it's a good joke, I'm like, oh, okay. But I was like, but I kind of agree with Jeremy. Like, sometimes when you just let that moment happen, you're like, wow, this is like in Guardians 2 when Yondu died. Like, that's a devastating moment. And it wasn't a joke or anything. It was respected and maintained. And it's like, damn, this is great. So I do agree with you on that. I think hopefully with the newer stuff, we'll see a bit more of, okay, we're in a new stage of Marvel. Let's get a little dark with it.
Disney in general, it seems like they're turning the curve because we are getting a new Deadpool. That's and I believe that's
going to be interesting.
Yo, I can't wait.
I wonder how that fits into the Marvel universe. I can't wait to really see what they do with him and how he's written.
Well, Jeremy, did you see Free Guy?
No, actually, I've been meaning to check that out.
Well, do that because actually that was surprisingly delightful. So the director of that, Sean Levy, who also directed Ryan and his latest Netflix project, the Adam Project, which I heard really good.
That was
I want to check that out too.
Yeah, same director.
Nobody wants to watch that one with me because it's got a little kid in it. I'm like, I'm all into that.
Right, but same director, Sean Levy, he's going to be the director for Deadpool 3. So, he's got my vote.
Yeah. Well, so along with that, did any of you see Red?
No, what's Red?
Oh,
the Pixar.
The big fuzzy panda.
Yeah. Oh no.
No.
I thought you were talking about the old.
You're talking about Turning Red, right?
Red. Yeah. Sorry, Turning Red.
I heard it was good. I am so out of it, and I don't even have kids to realize what Turning Red really was about until then. I'm like, oh, it's about that.
I didn't know it was about that, and it was like, oh shit, okay, Disney's going there. It was.
I don't even know. I have no idea. Jeremy, do you know what they're talking about?
No, I've got no. I know it's a movie with a red panda.
Okay, Leo, I got this.
Something like that.
I got this, guys. It's a metaphor for periods.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay.
Oh, I have a child that may want to watch that.
So the point being is
getting to that age.
Also, Leo, I think it's also nice that we're seeing a thing where the Disney villains are a little bit more relatable, but not to the point where it's like, I don't like. Early Disney was great because these people were just straight up evil. You didn't question it. You were like, oh, what's their backstory? Why did they turn evil? Oh, did we need this movie about Cruella that the Dalmatians killed her mom? No, she was just a crazy evil bitch who wanted to skin puppies. Lately,
mind you, I did like the Cruella movie. I watched that with my daughter, and it was fantastic.
Get out. But I think we're seeing a movement where, the villain's a little bit more relatable. Like if you've seen Encanto. The villain of the story is
not doing that.
Well, it's actually pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie, both of you.
I put my foot down on that one. My daughter actually has a count up of 57 times watching it. Sings the songs all around the house. No.
Well, I will
we
just
don't
say
talk
this,
about Encanto.
No. What I'm saying is, you see that like the villain is the kind of the grandmother. And it's relatable, but they explain why she's doing what she's doing. From what I understand, the mom is something similar in Raising Red. I haven't seen it yet, but
Yeah, the villain is definitely the mother. It's obviously, the trope of Asian mom being overbearing to the daughter. The daughter has to be is very controlled. She has to get awesome grades and then work at the family store, and she has all these responsibilities at a young age.
Yeah, and she just wants to hang out with her friends and boy bands.
Yeah, and so she's hanging in all this anger, and the anger comes out as this red panda.
Yep. Yeah, because that's how we handle things these days, kids. We're just going to turn into gigantic monsters. I was like, yes, kids. In our day, they were called kaijus.
Well, actually, it's very Teen Wolfish.
Hey, listen. I'm still like, people want to explain, turn into big monsters and fight each other. I was like, excuse me. It was called Power Rangers when it was our day. Thank you very much. Okay, you know what, Rich?
What? I didn't want to say anything about that horrible TV show that was totally horribly acted and was just pointless.
Okay, Rich.
I didn't say that at all.
Just like Star Wars, sometimes you have to appreciate the dumb, cheesy crap for what it is. Nostalgic, dumb, cheesy crap that you can't help but love because you grew up with it.
I have to say, I watched Mystic Force.
I think I'm just a little too old for it.
Well, I'm right there.
Too mature.
It was bad.
I
bad.
Thank you, Jeremy. It's horrible.
I watched full seasons with my son, and it was horrible.
Can you see this teenager with attitude? Here we go. There you go.
I only watched Mystic Force with them though because it was like had more dragons and stuff to do with it instead of like these cars and bullshit.
I'm sorry, Time Force is where it's at. Anything with time travel is always my guilty pleasure. But my
Facebook user, I apologize for missing your comments there.
Who's Bruno?
Yeah. I just wanted to say one last thing before we get into Superman. The other big release that came out today, and Drew, I think you'll be quite happy. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. Oh.
Hey, J-Bo.
Video game. Hey, J-Bo. We gotta get you. Why are you kind of coming up as Facebook user? So yeah, the Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. It looks like, I hope they have a single player, but it's a multiplayer video game. Takes place, it seems like, Afterlife. Seems like it's voiced by Dan Aykroyd. And
what platform, Leo?
They didn't say, but I'm assuming it's going to be all platforms.
Nice.
Yeah, and you can either be the Ghostbusters or the ghosts.
Drew's raising right now.
Good. Let the slime flow through you.
Okay, so let me pull up Superman here.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, I would like to explain why I recommended this.
Because you grew up a small boy in Smallville.
Oh yes, indeed. Except my Smallville was called Westchester, and it wasn't that small at all. I need to preface this. I'm not really a Superman fan. To be quite honest, I've always gravitated more toward Batman, like so many of us do. But there are things. I mean, Superman was one of the earliest heroes. Without him, comics may not have been the same. That being said, I think a lot of the way they've written him is a little too powerful. And over the years, we saw what I like to say, a reimagining of Superman. He's not just a god; he's still a human being. I've personally always liked origin stories. I think it's sometimes better learning how characters become who they are.
Except for villains.
Yeah, if it's a good story. So there have been a lot of Superman origin stories, and I know because I own a lot of them. One of the most important ones was, of course, 1985's Man of Steel, written and drawn by John Byrne, which did help redefine the character at a pivotal time. This one, to me, which is, I believe, Leo, this is a 2003, 2004 series?
No, give me 1 second here. Sorry, I lost the ability to screen record.
That's fine. So essentially, this is an early 2000 series. This happened before Superman Birthright, which was Mark Waid and Lana Yu doing their origin. Which, if anyone's a Smallville fan, that one is the one for you. Definitely got some good Smallville vibes. This, to me, one is a great origin story because it's 4 issues, not too crazy, not too long. But there's so much inside this, and he's gone.
Oh man, he left you, Drew.
I know,
He was
and he's
just
gone.
like, this
So
guy's killing me.
so my point being is, this to me is by far one of my favorite origin stories because although it's 4 issues, there's so much happening in this, and Tim Sale and Jeph Loeb are just such a great team, and I loved it. Just rewatching this, rereading this series. I mean, every time I just fall in love with it again because there's always something new I appreciate, which I think was really more of the credit to Tim Sale. I mean, if you've ever seen any of his drawings, he's always packing all these little details in the background, and he just does such a good job. So, yeah. So I thought this might be a nice little super fun story for us. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I'm sorry, Chrome is being an utter pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Darn that Chrome.
I'm sorry.
Damn you, Chrome.
I love Hutters.
So, Drew, I was, I didn't know this storyline, and I went in blind. So when I saw that it was Loeb and Sale, I got excited because we have reviewed some awesome pairings that they've done on Batman stories.
Yes.
And I gotta say, I'm sorry to be totally opposite of you, but I was highly disappointed in comparison to what I've seen them previously do in other storylines.
Okay. Listen, Rich, we're not all of the same mind. There's some counterpoint.
Kind of
I'm
the
sure there
beauty
were
of
things
this
in it
show.
you enjoyed. But that's fine. There's things that they've done that I wasn't too big fan of. I mean, you remember when we were reviewing that Long Halloween one shot?
Sure.
And I completely slammed that, and you loved it.
That is true. Absolutely. But the beauty of the show is that we have different personalities and different interpretations of the same story.
So,
was the one shot any different than the original?
Well,
story?
no, the one shot for the Long Halloween, Jeremy, it was continuing that story. So it kind of was in that same universe, but it was kind of revealing a lot more of the mystery that was left behind with the Long Halloween.
Okay.
With that is that we finally have an idea of who the killer really was, who Holiday really was. So, Leo,
some of my favorite parts of this, Drew, I'm sorry, were the Lana Lang aspect.
Okay.
I thought that was an interesting psychological aspect that's probably not touched on too often.
No.
So I did appreciate that aspect.
So, Leo, we're of the minds that I very much am a big fan of this. I mean, I was the one who recommended it. Rich went in blind. He said that he was a little disappointed. Correction. He was very disappointed with this because of compared to what we've seen Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale do in the past, Long Halloween and such.
I went in this totally blind as well. This was my first read.
Mm-hmm.
I loved it. It's I'm the artwork. I'm not super crazy about, but it does.
I was going to say, aren't you? You're not the biggest fan of Tim Sale's artwork, as I've seemed to recall.
Correct. But I mean, he does capture, the emotion quite well. It's definitely a different artistic take on it. That it does grow on me, but the story definitely overshadowed the faults of the artwork. I loved it that this was a Superman origin story without the origin story. This is the origin of Clark Kent, leaving Smallville and becoming Superman, and just where he gets his morals from, and it's that small town feel. And yeah, it was, I loved it.
Jeremy, did you ever get a chance to read any of this, or is this the
I
first time
read
you've seen
it back in the day,
Mhm.
but I've always thought Tim Sale's art is amazing. Like, very beautiful. It's always like, it seems simple, yet a lot is going on with it. I don't
It's
know.
very, it's kind of like a distant cousin of Bruce Timm's artwork. It's very simplistically cartoony, but there's still a lot
Yeah.
of detail. Hmm.
Yeah, and this story, Leo was saying, you're getting the origin of Clark Kent becoming Superman, not just Clark Kent coming to Earth and going through the whole
Hmm.
dilly and John Kent dying and blah blah blah. You're actually getting a bit of the boy to a man kind of feel.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
And this was heartbreaking here. Lana, thought Clark was gonna propose, but he
it reveals a secret.
yeah, and that was disappointing to her. It was yeah, her life changed at that moment as well.
See, Rich, you weren't the only one who's disappointed.
Yeah. Well,
You and
and it was
Lana.
interesting that he was oblivious to the fact that it had changed her so until
Yeah.
many years later.
Mm.
The funny thing is, it was really hard for me to kind of say which of these books was my favorite because it's all one big story. Um, I did enjoy when it was Lois Lane explaining, because I like that. One of my favorite moments is like what I love about. Hold on, my words are getting jumbled again. We're out of practice, so I got to get back in the groove of this here. Um, One of the things I love about Jeph Loeb is he has little stories because he very heavily relies on text box to explain narratives. I love his little stories in it. Like for instance, you know, Lois talking about how she feels that Superman is like Prince Charming and he's not supposed to exist because then basically everybody else is moot. Um, I love this panel. One, because look, that image is beautiful. You have Superman, he's looking down on Earth. It's very much gives me that Christopher Reeve Superman vibe to it. But I love that she makes this illusion that Superman is kind of like Santa Claus. He represents the best in everyone. So it's almost like he's not just inspiring you, but he's also protecting you from the the terrible side of humanity. But just the idea, like you wouldn't really think of it, be like, yeah, Superman kind of can be like Santa Claus. Um, like these little moments that Jeph and Tim are just so good at. Although it was really weird still because I always forget, but there was a time Lex Luthor had hair, and it bugs me out sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, you were a ginger. Yeah, good times. You know,
I was a little disappointed that Clark was so naive though to believe that he could infect other people.
I also want to point out I love this moment here where they're talking about how much Lex Luthor makes. That if he's found $100 bill, it wouldn't be worth it for him to pick it up.
Right.
Like
Leo,
again,
that's a good point, though, because he grew up in Smallville and he had the powers all through there. And if he didn't infect anyone in Smallville in all those
Yeah.
years and put them to death, like you said,
um,
that was pretty naive. I didn't realize that was sort of a plot hole.
Yeah.
but there's so many great little moments in here that I really like, and it's also great because this story had a Silver Age feel to it, but I still feel like it could have happened any point in time. It's got that nice feel. Although I do want to give them credit, the way that they did, or at least Jeph wrote Lois contemplating Superman's secret identity and then not. Then she was like, "That's such a dumb idea." That was great.
I love the reference to the let me see if I can find it here. The Action Comics, the first Superman.
You talk.
Yeah, right here.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That was a rough
Faster
scene.
than a speeding bullet.
That was
More
a rough
powerful
scene.
than a locomotive. Able to keep tall buildings in a single bound.
Also, the nice costume my mom made, was that used somewhere else? Because I know they just used it in Superman and Lois, but was
I,
that?
I think Reeves said that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think that's a Reeves line.
Yeah, I think like when he pulled the cat, I think it might have been the first movie when he pulled like the cat out of the tree. Like the kid's like, "Thanks, Superman. I really like your costume." You'd be like, "Thanks, my mom made it." There you go. That was my reenact.
You
That
did
was beautiful.
that was really nice. You definitely captured it. I was moved.
Thank you, thank you. They love me. They really, really love me.
But and I will say this, I do really enjoy how Tim Sale draws women because I feel like he avoids the trappings that have captured greats like Frank Miller, who somehow drawing women perplexes them. The women always just look very Silver Age-ish, but it's not like Jim Lee where everyone's a D cup or more. Like they're very, sassy but beautiful. But
Yeah,
it's not like overpoweringly ridiculous.
yeah. Lois she was drawn. It was subtle but sexy.
Yeah, exactly. And the same thing with like all the men characters, like the way his dad is drawn, Pete Ross, Superman here, like they're realistic, but it's not crazy.
Yeah.
I think the most outlandish costume here was Toxin right here.
Yeah,
You
that was a
know,
little sexualized, but
like I was like, wow, look
She's
at
got some
Superman carrying
thighs.
a 90s character right here. Like, god damn. Um, I will say this though, there's one moment here in this comic that does get me. I wouldn't say cry, because again, there are very few comics that have actually made me cry, but gets me really emotional. It's when Lana is kind of inspiring Clark. It's when he's about to go out in the rain and help people, and
Oh,
she's, she reminds him, to be the best Superman, because to be Superman simply because he's Clark. And then she kisses him and he flies off. I was like, wow, what a great moment. Also, because small moments, I love the "It's a Wonderful Life" reference, rubbing the elephant, wishing I had $1,000,000. That's literally from "It's a Wonderful Life." So that was pretty great. But yeah, this moment, this to me was one of my favorites. It always gets me a little emotional because it's just so beautifully well written. And Leo, like you said, I just feel like it captured the emotion of the moment. Like if someone was narrating it, I think it would be just as powerful.
yeah.
well, because Lana she knows this is the final kiss goodbye, and he's realizing what he really has to do with going back to Metropolis and doing what he has to do here as well.
Yeah, but that was great, and it's so nice to see a very subdued story, because I feel like with Superman, it's always like, oh, he's fighting aliens or some big gigantic baddie that nobody else could do. And this one, it was Lex Luthor. It was really setting down the groundwork for what becomes the foundations of Superman.
Yeah,
So,
it wasn't. I mean, it was a nice, simple story, but it was yeah, just written really well, and
uh-huh.
it was really grounded. I think you just said that, so I'm probably parroting you.
I just love the colors. Who did
Yeah.
who did the ink on this?
uh, um, I can never say his name correctly. It's like the Bjarne Hansen.
Ah,
I think that's who it is. It's at the end there.
Yeah,
Somewhere.
Bjarne Hansen.
Yeah, he did great work.
Yeah.
I think this is the only one of their collaborations that he did the colors for. But I mean, it's so soft, but still so iconic. Um, Still great.
Yeah.
And it still strikes me so amazing that Tim Sale is colorblind, but yet his work just is fantastic. So it's just amazing. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's not really much to say because we're trying not to spoil our books for our viewers. We want you to read it. There's no point in us reading it for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely. I have a link in the show notes if you want to pick it up yourself. There's a Amazon link, and or go to your local comic book shop. Yeah.
Let me ask this because this is the Superman moment. Do you guys have any? So it's a two-part question. One, what is, if you have your comics, what is your favorite Superman moment in the comics? And two, what, if anything, is your favorite Superman moment in, television or film?
I wasn't a big Superman comics reader.
Okay.
I grew up with Superman the movie. That's Christopher Reeve is my essential Superman. But for stories, I'd have to say Superman Unchained was really good. I enjoyed that.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Jeremy, did you want to go next?
Oh, well, Superman failed me a lot throughout life. I tried to be a reader of Superman for a while, and first failed me back in the 90s when they went blue and red and the little electric guys, and it just killed me. So I fell off for a long time from Superman until probably the mid to probably around 2010, and then JR picked him up at some point and kind of ruined him again for me. I don't really care for his art. He kind of leaves parts out, kind of phones it in a lot of the time.
I agree with you. I feel his work has gotten
his early stuff is great.
Oh yeah, when he was working with JMS on Spider-Man, that hands down, that stuff is fantastic.
Sometimes he's got like backwards legs on characters. I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
I think unfortunately when they started using him a lot more, I feel like his work deteriorated, which is sad because you see things like Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like, it's so beautiful. And then you see his run on Superman and it just looks rushed and kind of shoddy. And it's just, if you can't handle the book schedule, there are other artists who can.
There really
Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to do every book. You can do every other book. Right? So I agree with you. But you were saying, sorry.
I have to say, Superman 3, once again, the internet wasn't around. I was a young kid. Richard Pryor. That stuff was great. I ate it up. Superman 4, I ate that up too. That was good stuff.
When we were kids, yeah.
I was a kid. Yeah, man. Seeing Lex Luthor throw a bunch of stuff into a nuclear bomb and shoot it up at the sun, and that was good stuff for me. The Nuclear Man. I don't even know what he's called, but
well, and the scheme from Richard Pryor, the remaining pennies, like the fraction of the pennies, that was
the Richard Pryor, the robot. That thing was fantastic. That was right around the time of the toy too, and that stuff killed me when masturbates. I was like, ah. I lost Drew. I'm sorry, Drew.
No, it's fine. I'm just adjusting. So, all right.
Favorite time in comics? I'd probably. Oof. Yeah, I don't have anything that's like super memorable that like really moved me where I'm like, damn, that was a good story. Nobody's ever written Superman, for me at least, where I'm like, hey guys, I gotta show you this story. Don't get me wrong, like Unchained was cool. I liked what Jim Lee did with the characters. The art was awesome and stuff. But
that was Lee and Snyder. Yeah.
Yeah,
I own it. Yeah.
But yeah, nobody's written him to the point where I'm like, holy crap, this is a story I got to share with everybody.
Okay. What about you, Rich?
Well, from a movie standpoint, I mean, Christopher Reeves is what I grew up on as a young child. So, I mean, that's amazing. Now, going back and watching some of that now, it's not as impressive as it used to be.
No.
But as
good,
far
though.
as the movies go, I mean, it's still a beautiful memory in the back of my head.
Yeah.
From a comic standpoint, there was a run of Action Comics. I want to say it was in the mid 80s. Byrne was a part of that run, but he didn't do the whole run.
Okay.
That was really strong for me.
Okay.
A lot of times I find Superman to be boring, but that was a lot of action-packed run. There were a lot of almost every other comic had like guest stars, and it was nice seeing his interaction and his personality with those other characters.
Okay.
And as far as animated goes, it is a tie between, I believe it's Superman Unbound, which is the Brainiac one.
I think so.
Where they shrink Kandor.
Mhm.
And it's very violent. But really the art is beautiful, and he ends up defeating Brainiac basically because Brainiac has always lived in a contained situation, and he goes to where there's smells and microbes and viruses. He dies, disintegrates, or whatever. That one is equally tied with, and I'm not sure which one it is, and Drew, you could probably help me out with this one, where Kara goes evil through Darkseid. We got evil Supergirl.
Batman. It's the Batman Superman movie.
Okay, the Batman.
Yeah.
Those are both two phenomenal animated movies that really stick out for me.
Okay. Yeah. I know one of my favorites, and again, I have some Superman in my collection. Personally, I always enjoyed him more when it was a multiverse story, like Kingdom Come.
Okay, that's a good.
Or Red Sun when it was the Soviet Superman. I always like him in those contexts because again, it's something different, it's something new, a spin on what we already knew. I hear Dark Knights of Steel by Tom Taylor right now is pretty good. I heard
Dark
that.
Knights of Steel is good, but I would suggest going back. Brandon turned us on to this. Kal-El. So Knights of Steel is essentially a ripoff of Kal-El. Same type of thing, medieval Superman, but this time Knights of Steel, they've added Batman to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say. Yeah. One of my favorites was All-Star Superman. It was Grant Morrison and Frank Whiteley. I love the moment where he saves the girl who's going to kill herself.
Yeah.
And it's a very simple moment, but you really get an idea of what Superman is meant to inspire. He's not just there to save the day. He's also meant to be there when we need someone. And I think that moment there's a reason it's a fan favorite. And I think it's because it's so subtle. And it doesn't need a lot, but it's so subtle in the grand scheme of things. I mean, Superman in that universe is dying. He's dying. He's trying to make everything right. He's trying to get as much as he can do with the limited time he has, but he still has time to help this person who just believes she's alone, and he makes her feel like she's not. And I think that in itself that to me has always resonated. And it's funny because later on, Kingdom Come Superman, when he was with the JSA for that Kingdom Come arc during Jeff Johns' JSA run, the second one, he had a similar moment. It was still just as powerful because that Superman is still one of the best because he is still one of the most tragic. Animated, I will always go with all due respect to Henry Cavill, Christopher Reeve is still the Superman. I've yet to see the Donner cut. I really need to because I really love that vision. Leo, calm down. Okay. There are things that you've told me that I've made the same face and I still come on the show. So back that attitude up or I'll put you back in the hospital. Okay.
Oh, wow.
You remember you're talking to the Axeman, don't forget.
Right. Yeah. I'm sorry, Snakes. My bad. Put that gasoline down.
Hold on. We don't want to scare Jeremy. I don't think he knows that story.
No, I don't think I do.
Oh, he'll give you the notes in a second, J-Bo. So hold on. Christopher Reeve is still my number one Superman. Okay. I have a moment from Superman 2 that for some reason, I don't know why I've always appreciated. I think it's because in Superman 2, when he's unpowered, he challenges a guy at a diner who whoops his ass, like whoops his ass. When he gets his powers back, he goes up to the same diner, challenges the guy. The guy tries to punch him. I think he breaks his hand. He's like, I'm going to take this to go. He lifts him up, puts him on the diner, pushes him across the diner into the pinball machine. He apologizes for the damages. Like, sorry for the damages, sir. And they're like, I've been lifting weights, just working out. And just keep going. And it is so innocently hilarious that it's one of those moments that only Christopher Reeve could have done. Anybody else, it would have been the cheesiest thing in the world. But Christopher Reeve, it's just so Clark Kent Superman. You can't help just be like, okay, cool. That happens all the time. Just weaklings, just lift up guys. Bully, I think it's just because he was a bully. And I'm like, yeah, you take care of that shit, Superman. Animated wise, oh man, I don't know if you guys remember in the animated series when he got controlled by Darkseid and he was compelled to attack Earth. He resisted, and then he laid Darkseid out. And then, of course, this is when Michael Ironside is voicing Darkseid, which, to be quite honest, you as much as other people have been great at Darkseid, he's just still hands down the best. He beats Darkseid. He tells the people of Apocalypse they're free. They still go to help him. And Superman is like, why? And he just looks at Superman. He said, I may be many things, but on this world, I am God. And then the doors close. And Superman is like, I can't do anything. Like, to me, I was like, wow. Like, it's not even a Deadpool, like, well, that's just lazy writing. I'm like, no, this is... Give these people an Emmy. Like, damn, this is good.
Was that the one where he thanks Darkseid because like he's always pulling punches, but now he can finally let loose?
Yes.
Yeah, that was such badass.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest Superman fan, but when he's written well, when there is a good story, I'm all for it. But there has to be an angle. Otherwise, I'm like, okay, he's essentially a god. Who cares? He's too damn powerful.
All right. So how many rocks of kryptonite are we giving it tonight?
Good, nicely done. Well, I'll start it off because I'm the person who recommended it and because I'm Mr. Bias. I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna give it a nice solid 4. I will gladly recommend this to someone, especially people who don't know comics. I think this is a nice if I was having a beginner comics course, I would have this as part of my syllabus. I think this is a nice little, okay, you want to dip your pinky into comics? Okay, cool. You can dip your pinky in here. Okay. Oh, your whole foot? Okay, cool. And then we'll give them the other stuff to cannonball on. So I'm going with 4. 4 rocks of kryptonite, as you would say, Rich.
Yeah. Jeremy, what do you think?
It's been so long since I read it. On my memory, I'll stick with 4 as well. I just love the art. Just watching Leo going through the pages, the art still pops. Every page was like, oh, that's pretty. Oh, that's pretty right over there.
We got to review their Marvel Color series at some point. I mean, you want to talk beautifully drawn and emotionally resonated. If we do Spider-Man Blue, someone may cry. That shit is just heartbreaking. But go 4 kryptonite chips for J-Bo. Got it.
4 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
4
and 4. I'm gonna go with the 3 of the green rocks.
Okay.
Take the man down. I thought the story was okay. The art is beautiful, absolutely. At times, I appreciated the 50s-esque look of Superman and Clark, and at other times, it annoyed the shit out of me. So,
okay, fine. Leo, what'd you think?
Well, I Batman's my guy, but Superman has always had a special place in my heart. So I'm gonna give this I loved the story. The artwork, like I said, is growing on me. So I'm going to go a little high. I'm going to go 4.5 green rocks. But also, I just wanted to say we forgot to mention one cartoon, the Fleischer cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the 1950s.
Yeah.
Okay. You're right. We did forget. Nicely done, Leo.
Yeah. But Superman was like the first superhero I was introduced to. I
think
remember.
most of us.
Yeah.
The 80s we had. Well, no.
Well,
I had the Spider-Man cartoon and TV show, so maybe Spider-Man was first.
That
But
whole
they're right
Superman
around the
animated series was strong. That whole series was strong.
the animated, yeah. The
I didn't really care for the 90s it was boring. I loved the Batman animated series, but
yeah.
Superman was I changed the channel when that came on. I was just like, maybe not today.
Drew got so mad he said,
He
"Fuck
was like,
you."
I'm
He's
out of
like,
here.
"I'm
Fuck
out."
you. You don't like the animated
Yeah.
series.
It's all right. I think he's been calling you J-Bo all night.
I know. I've been like sitting there. I'm like, well, fine.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
J-Bo Jeremy.
So like the first Superman, I don't know if I saw it at the theater or it was like shortly after. It had to be either like 78 or 80 that I saw it. So I was either 4 or 6 when I saw it. So yeah, I remember my mom gave me a Superman coloring book after I saw it. It was like that rocked my world, just
Man, coloring books used to be something else.
Oh yeah.
Did you stay within the lines, Leo?
I was real young, so probably not. No.
Okay.
I know we ran a little late. Jeremy, don't go anywhere after the show this time.
Yeah. I didn't know that I was supposed to stick around. I thought I was like, all right, click, clum, gone.
So I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. Definitely check the show notes and up above or down below for everybody here. But we'll kick it off with Jar Jar Jeremy. Where do you like people interacting with you?
Facebook, I'm Jeremy Courtney. You can check out Comic Book Lovers, buy, sell, trade and auction house. And the cannabis season will be starting at the beginning of April, which I'm on Instagram at Jar Jar Jeremy.
Awesome. Drew.
Oh, hi. I'm places and on things. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm not even going to say it because I'm sure they might. I work for Screen Rant. I do a lot of stuff there. If you're friends with me, you'll see it. If not, look me up. Drew Mala Screen Rant. I do a lot of stuff here. I'm helping various other people's there, which is essentially a long way of saying I'm busy. So if you reach out and it takes me a little bit to respond to you, it's not because I don't want to talk to you. It's because I'm too exhausted to function. These guys can vouch for that one.
Yeah, you got a lot going on in Dorcosphere, just a lot on your plate. And
Leo, you can't just keep adding verse and spear to things, man. You can't make that work. Move on. Move on.
Velvet Joker.
Good evening. Good evening. Well, as you all well know, as I always say, you can catch me here every Tuesday on Splash Pages, except when Leo has COVID, of course. The award-winning Splash Pages, no less.
True story.
And you can find me on the gram at Velvet Joker 2021, or Ghostbuster Man 1984, or Leo at leopond.com. Any of those places, you can reach out to me, or you can reach out and complain, or tell me how beautiful I am, or how sexy Jeremy looks tonight.
The way you look tonight, I
don't know. My eyes are bugging out. Your background's going all wobbly on me.
What strain is that, Jeremy?
I don't know, man.
Someone had a little too much. Oh boy, someone had me a nap. After I'm done with Splash Pages, I like to take a nap.
Well, everybody have a good one. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.
Avoid the buildings.